Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Cherika Brown, of course. We're on another episode of Cherika Be Talking, cause I be talking. And today's lesson is gonna be a personal lesson for myself for situations I encountered today. I started my day off on a very positive, good self-growth note. And that note was deciding to go to church early this morning. My spirits felt filled, I felt happy, I felt good, and I spent it with family and everything. However, I've learned some lessons on this day. While this day was a good day, this day was filled with so many lessons for me. The major first lesson that I learned today is that I still have a long ways to go when it comes to my temper. Now, if any of you all are familiar with the fruits of the fruits of the spirits, just name a few, are love, kindness, peacefulness, joyfulness, meekness, self-control, 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 self-control. Before I even name all the fruits of the spirit, I'm going to say self-control is a fruit of the spirit. And if I sound like stubby or whatever right now, y'all, I'm really just like discombobulated, or I'm tired. I just want to go to sleep. But self-control, when it comes to like drinking or smoking or doing things, I have a lot of self-control. However, when it comes to my temper and feeling like people are trying me, I lack self-control. And my mom and daddy, they just set me straight and gave me a few lessons. And those lessons, number one, that I learned from today is that you cannot control other people's actions. So you always have to be prepared to respond in a mature way. And when I say you cannot control people's actions, I'm not even talking about what people may do to you just randomly. I'm speaking on when you may go to people in a peaceful way to try and dissolve situations or make people feel better, you would think. Or if you come to people with pure intentions to really, maybe break the ice, crack the ice as an icebreaker to kind of warm up and make them like welcome you or be welcoming to them. You cannot determine if somebody may not be accepting to how you're trying to come at them, and they're already mad or they already feel rubbed a wrong way or any of those type of things, and they decide that they just want to curse you out or do whatever to you. So in those situations, in the heat of the moment, when you're really at it with somebody, that self-control and all of them fruits of the spirit, that's where it's gonna matter the most. And if you are not able to practice those things in the heat of the moment, you ain't where you think you is. And this message is particularly for myself. So every time a situation happened for me, I have to go and reflect. I have to determine where I was wrong. I could not care less where everybody else was wrong. And I know everybody else is not going to go and see where they were wrong, and they don't have possible people around them that's going to hold them accountable for where they may have gone wrong. So it's up to me to hold me accountable. And and I thank God for my parents, because they can be on my side and they'll be on my side and we're going to ride for each other all day. But they're going to say, but you were wrong here, you were wrong there, you were wrong. This how you could have handled this situation better. This how, because at the end of the day, I got to be accountable and responsible for me. And that's another lesson for today. Even when you're making selfish actions and you're like defending yourself or you're in the heat of the moment, you have to realize that everything affects everything. Everything that you do affects everybody that you're around. It can affect relationships. It can affect friendships. It can just affect family dynamics. It can affect anything. So when you are in the heat of the moment, consider other people. Of course, you cannot just stay and you can't just think quick and think of other people immediately. But when you are in a heated situation, you got to be okay with getting chumped off. You got to be okay with people saying anything to you that you deem as disrespectful or uncalled for. And when you get to that point where you allow people to say whatever and do whatever, and you're able to walk off and just go and calm down and, go and think over your response instead of reacting, things won't even escalate to another situation or just to deeper than what it is, even though other people can insert themselves and make situations out of what they're not. If you control yourself and your actions, it can prevent things from happening, even if you weren't the cause of a situation escalating. You have to be able to have self-control so that even if you weren't the cause of an escalation, you can be the cause of a de-escalation. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps somebody. And more than anything, I think this week we should focus on just the fruits of the Spirit and just practicing them in our everyday lives. Like I said, none of us are perfect. We all fall short, but that shouldn't be an excuse. So one thing I'm big on is holding myself accountable. And like I said, I fell short today. And I'm going to make sure that I hold myself accountable, and I'm putting things into practice in my everyday interactions so that I can make sure I don't find myself in situations that I really don't like being in. I don't like messy situations. I don't like drama situations. I don't like mess in general. And it disrupts me when something is thrown off. So I'm one of those people that I like to make peace. But I realize, like I said, you cannot go and be a peacemaker. Sometimes peace is literally saying nothing. Not trying to crack a joke with people and break ice, because sometimes people are just mad. Mad with themselves, mad with life, mad where they are in life, or mad at you, or, or they're just going through something you know completely nothing about. So give yourself grace and give other people grace. And remember that only God can judge you. So whatever other people have to say does not really matter. As long as you know you're holding yourself to a standard, that's all that matters at the end of the day. But y'all know I'll be back because I'll be talking. Peace.